What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. BJ Mathews, aka B Jizzle.
Hey, and it's your co-host that does it the most, Rick Masters. Y'all know what it is. Hey, y'all know we got the shirts, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast shirts. We got the red, the white, the black, and the white tanks. $25 a pop. Hit up me or B Jizzle on our DMs, whether it's Instagram or Facebook. B Jizzle, let's go.
And my boy said hit us on our social media platforms, Instagram, B Jizzle, Pull Up Basketball Podcast, you know what I'm saying? Spotify, Iheartradio, YouTube. Hit the like and subscribe button on the top of the screen on the YouTube page, and the notification bell. Get all our updated content. Let's get it popping, bro. So we're back with another week of NBA basketball, pull-up talk, you know what I'm saying? We got two topics, more so in the free agency department. Mr. James Harden of the Brooklyn Nets, and kind of a surprise where we chose to, talk about Bradley Beal, the star player on the Washington Wizards. So aside from these two, like there's a lot of people that need a lot of decisions to be made when it comes to all-stars and players, going to next season. So, bro, what do you think about the James Harden situation? Do you see a situation where he can be moved in any type of shape, way, or form from Brooklyn next season?
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, the simple, answer to that question is yes, you can always be moved around, especially, if you have a player option, free agencies coming up, all that good stuff for any player, especially in this modern NBA, man. I mean, like I said, the simple answer is yes, he can move wherever or work something out, especially him being a superstar as he is, he can definitely make some things shake and move. I mean, we've seen it when he was in Houston. That's how he got to Brooklyn. But I'm going to say, though, I don't think he should. I mean, what's the point? I mean, dude, 29 and 19, number 8, I believe, all in the NBA right now. Of course, you're in your top 5 when it comes to your Eastern Conference. I mean, of course, you got KD down right now. Kyrie Irving just kind of came back not too long ago. I just feel like he's being a little impatient, man. I mean, I understood the 8 years in Houston for sure. You've been somewhere that long. You spent 3 years with OKC, then you come and do 8 years with Houston. I definitely understand, like, hey, I want to make some moves. I want to win. But I mean, to me, he's in the best situation. I honestly can't think of anywhere else he's going to go without messing with another franchises like cap and their money cap. So I think he just kind of needs to just, take a breather, relax a little bit. I mean, let's not forget this, 2018, 2019, 2020, the last 3 years he was in Houston, 30.4 points, 36.1 points, 34.3 points in 2020. Now check it out. 33 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists. I mean, you're doing that in Brooklyn. Now, mind you, 45% on that field goal percentage, 11 out of 24, and two threes out of 7, 28% when you're playing the Lakers. So, 106 to 96, they got beat. But the reason why I rattled out those numbers like that about Harden is because he still is capable of putting up those same numbers he was doing in 18, 19, and 20. So ultimately, I think James Harden just kind of needs to, just relax, kind of maybe put more effort in his teammates, kind of pump them up a little bit more before the games, man, that kind of get a better game plan since Kyrie's jumping in and out, due to the COVID protocols they got in the NBA, and just see what happens, man. But what you think?
So I got a few things to, back off what you're talking about. So basically, like you said, James Harden, it's been talks that he's not happy in Brooklyn. Now, it's because of basically he compared living from Houston to Brooklyn. That's what the reports are saying. So, of course, he shut that down the day after he heard those reports. He's like, look, I ain't said nothing. I'm not talking about anything aside from those reports. I'm focused on the team right now winning the championship. That's what James Harden says. So we have to go with what he says. But I also go back to what I listen to different people in the NBA media who I truly have faith in. And the only two people I really have faith in the NBA media, like pretty much almost 100%, is Adrian Wojnarowski, which is a senior writer for the NBA, and also Chris Haynes. Those are only two people that I have complete trust in. Now, of course, you got a few other people like Ramona Shelburne, Tim Legler, this other cat named, I think, Usmik. I think that's his name. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. But those are the two main ones, Chris Haynes and Adrian Wojnarowski. So Adrian Wojnarowski said based about James Harden's situation is that there's not been any trade talks discussed between Brooklyn and any other teams. So that, to me, kind of shut all the trade talks down for right now. Now, the question could be, could it change? Yes, it could change. And I believe it's a good possibility it could change if Brooklyn don't win this championship. Because you got to think about it. James Harden came to the Brooklyn Nets to win. I don't think he really wanted to leave Houston. Because we remember when he had that last press conference, post-game press conference with Houston, excuse me, he seemed like he was depressed, but he just like, yo, I've done everything that I can for this city. I love this city, but I can't win here. They're not helping me have a reason to stay. So he felt like the organization kind of turned on him. You know, he was acting out, not going to, not being participating in training camp. He was, acting out. He was out of shape. He wasn't leading his team. And he just felt like it was time to leave. He was there for, I believe, 8, 9 years. So you put everything that you have in the city. It's kind of like, okay, it's time to move on for a championship. So with this Brooklyn team, it's all or nothing. Like he wants to win. So yeah, you made a good point. He is a little bit impatient, but he's feeling like, look, I've already put a lot of time in Houston. We came to Brooklyn for the super team with Kyrie and Kevin Durant, and I'm ready to win now. So right now, I think the trade talks are not going on right now until the season's going to end. But I believe, based off of a few things I'm gonna name after I let you speak again, is what's going to change that scenario. But another question: what are some of the factors you see that can make his decision for the upcoming season after the season is over with?
I think some of the factors that'll help him decide where he might want to go, whether he stays, whether he leaves. I think some of the determining factors is, of course, number one, winning a championship. I mean, that's the whole point that he's there. So we definitely can't, look past that when it's the obvious magnanimous thing that he's there for. I mean, obviously he'll come back if he wins one. Now I will say some of the factors that also help him leave is some of his teammates. I mean, again, I'm sure he's cool with the majority of the teammates on there. I mean, but I'm sure KD and Kyrie were pretty much in his mind and the reason why he even came to Brooklyn. So then, and this is no shot at anybody. So then when you got Kyrie, that's like an off and on player, that's not, I'm pretty sure in James Harden's mind, that wasn't his idea of what it was going to be like when he came. Then of course you got KD getting hurt, and you can, me and you both know Father Time, especially when you 6'11", 7 feet tall, playing 82 games, is going to hit you more critically than somebody that's 5'9". See what I'm saying? So it's more wear and tear on your body, and you probably play basketball 2 times out the week. So I'm sure James Harden looks at it like, these wear and tear on these guys, and the unpredictability of whether they're going to be here or not is also a factor, in him leaving or staying. But I think most importantly, the third factor is just himself. I mean, I think it just depends on how he's feeling that day. I mean, how much he's thought on the situation, how much, he thinks he can pull out of where he's at now, or maybe he feels that he can do more and flourish elsewhere, as the season goes on. But I think ultimately it just comes down to that: is he going to win? I feel like if he wins, he stays. I feel like if he loses, then yeah, we might be seeing him make another move somewhere. But that's all I have to say on that.
So kind of piggybacking off your statements, man. So like the factors that we have to contribute, of course, is winning. I believe Harden, he is frustrated. He actually voiced that last week, I believe, in the pregame press conference, that he is frustrated. He feels like the organization is frustrated with the direction they're moving because they're not healthy. KD's out, Kyrie's in and out. You have Joe Harris is out. Those are some of their main guys, main pieces. They're not healthy. So Harden's looking at like, okay, well, I'm out here, pretty much going up against other teams. Like they played the Lakers the other night, and Harden was the only one really contributing at a high level. You had Patty Mills in there. Bruce Brown wasn't really contributing. Blake Griffin wasn't contributing. LaMarcus Aldridge was okay in the middle, but he didn't have his full team. So he's going up against this Lakers team who had Anthony Davis coming back, Russell Westbrook, and LeBron at full strength for the most part. And I'm competing by myself. So this is the same Brooklyn team that was projected to win the NBA championship at full strength. So he's looking at it like, man, we're falling in the standings. Like Brooklyn's number 5 in the standings now. They went from number 1 to number 5. So it's like at this sudden point, Brooklyn, as far as Harden, he feels frustrated because he's like, look, we're not healthy. We're not at our full potential. So it's going to depend on Brooklyn winning games. Of course, then win the championship. That's the ultimate goal. But it's going to depend on, I think, also, I'm kind of curious to understand how Harden feels about Kyrie's vaccine situation. Because if you look at it, Kevin Durant and Kyrie are really tight. They're really close. I look at James Harden as somebody who's he's cool with them, but he kind of moves in his own lane. He's kind of just like focusing on himself, basketball, and his ultimate goals. he has a relationship with those two, but he's like the third ball out. He didn't come with KD and Kyrie in a package deal. He came after them. So he's coming to that team in that situation like, okay, well, I have an ultimate goal to win a championship. And so he's looking at Kyrie's like, I support your decision, but we need you. We need to win this championship. Because if they don't win a championship with this full team, that would go down as a big X and a big waste of time because you pretty much created one of the, I think, probably the most powerful trio offensively in NBA history, even probably more than that Golden State trio with KD, Clay, and Steph, because you have three ultimate prime scorers in KD, Kyrie, and James Harden. So I believe that you have to capitalize on that. So that, and they don't win this championship, I think James Harden will entertain other options. I think I've heard of Philadelphia as being an option with Joel Embiid. So I think that would be a good opportunity for him to go and, have a championship, man. Especially Ben Simmons' situation. We'll see how that goes, but that could be a trade offered from Ben Simmons to James Harden.
Hey man, you brought up Philly, and I instantly started thinking in my mind that would be kind of crazy because you got the most dominant center in the game right now. Like, so that means either way it go, you have a dominant shooter on the outside of the key, then you got a dominant center down low. So it's like if you try to double, triple down on any one of them, the other one gonna be open. So it's gonna be a slice of pie either way you cut it. So that actually sounds pretty interesting, man. I would be pretty excited if they somehow got James Harden on Philly, man. But yeah, that's all I got to say on that.
So yeah, man, because you gotta think about it. They had a chance to get Harden last year from Houston. So Daryl Morey, he used to be with the Houston Rockets, now with the Philadelphia 76ers. So it's like he has that relationship with James Harden. This is a good opportunity. And besides that, James Harden hasn't signed his extension with Brooklyn. So that obviously says, yo, like, I'm kind of keeping my options open for right now. So I have to, protect myself. But we'll see what happens with